You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bro Down Podcast. I'm Andy Smith.
And I'm cold, but I'm also comforting.
Heat's off.
The heat is off in this
Heat is
place.
All right.
Oh, chilly.
This is another episode of Fight Recap.
Fight
We're going
recap.
over UFC Fight Night, Souza versus Blachowicz. Let's get into it.
Yeah, this was it was a great night.
This actually wasn't that bad of a fight. This
We
was pretty
started
good.
off on a really good note. I'll put it.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment, right?
Yeah.
So the first fight was Perez versus Turman, the Joker versus the young kid,
The Joker.
the Joker. Turman's only like what, 24? I think they were saying.
Wellington.
Wellington.
Yeah. Wellington the third. Yeah, he's only 23, I think.
Yeah, so that's pretty young. And this fight was a hardcore back. I tweeted about this. This is what I love about the sport.
I tweeted.
I went on the Twitter.
Oh, shit.
This is what I love about the sport. It was a solid back and forth the entire time. Perez slowly but surely was losing ground, but he was never 100% down for the count. He had like this amazing little last stand within the last 10 seconds where he just went freaking buck wild.
Yeah. He was throwing the
it was
crazy shit, too.
Yeah, it was a good. Oh, yeah, he was throwing those like wild
He was
kicks.
throwing like weird and like some spinning elbows and shit that I had never seen. I don't think I've ever seen anyone throw some of the ones that he was throwing. Like,
Yeah, but they didn't just seem showy, though. They were.
no, he definitely practices those.
Yeah.
The only thing is that it just seemed like he either hasn't done it enough or whatever, but the accuracy wasn't there. Like, he was doing it, but he couldn't time Turman right for a lot of them. But it was a good fight. And then the third round, I think Perez came out with like 3 or 4 hard body kicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if he landed another 1 or 2 of those, Turman would have been in a little bit of trouble. But that was probably one of the second best, second most exciting fight of the night.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
By like a landslide.
Yes. Yes.
All right, then we have Arroyo versus Munez.
Yeah. The thing in this one, it was an okay fight. Like,
Yeah.
there's, like I said, when we say okay fight, it's not like we're saying they're fucking terrible fights or they're boring. Like, they're not as exciting as
They're
the
not
back
exciting
and
from a-
forths. We get spoiled sometimes with the wars that go on. But this one had an interesting thing happen in it where
Oh, yeah, it was the first round,
Antonio apparently was illegally kneed in the face, and they gave him they stood him up because they said it was a grounded opponent, and then on the replay it showed that he wasn't a grounded opponent.
right? Yeah.
Now,
But-
go ahead.
But from the ref's perspective,
He was.
It looked like he was.
But this is where that rule comes in kind of fucking funny, right? So, and I don't know how I feel totally about it,
Okay.
but if you're a grounded opponent and I throw a strike at you that's illegal, a knee or a kick,
Okay.
and you're grounded as I'm throwing the strike to your face, and as the strike is coming there, your reaction makes you not a grounded opponent. What do you think about that?
I would say he's a grounded opponent, as you
Like, I'm standing against a cage. I have my hands on the ground.
Yeah,
You can't
no,
knee me in the face.
I'm seeing the mic is way too close to my face.
Yeah.
I'm seeing your point, but I would take it as when you threw the strike, I was grounded, irregardless of when or if it lands.
Yeah,
So
see,
that should-
that's kind of how I lean towards it, because if I'm thinking you can't throw a strike at my face, I'm not going to just let you throw an illegal strike at my face and let it land. My reaction is going to make me cover it.
You have instincts. They're going to kick in.
But I think the way that they rule it is when the strike lands.
Oh, that's weird. I could...
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't like that a lot of the time, though.
See, that's one of those like gray areas where I
know.
can see their perspective on that.
Because
but-
that was when they were slowing it down, he was on his toes. His knees were not hitting the ground on the replay. But I'd have to look at it again to see when the strike was being thrown.
I'm pretty sure he was decently up. Like, I don't think that was...
Well, he was about, like, a couple inches off the ground, his knees were. Very understandable that the ref didn't see it because we thought he was a grounded opponent, too.
Yeah.
But I think the replay showed it didn't really hit him in the face because they were saying that what a good actor he was.
Yeah, he did milk that.
Yeah, which, hey, whatever. Yeah. But the thing that's crazy, though, is that if he said, I can't continue from that, I think it would have been either ruled a no contest or whatever, because they have an instant replay, but it's only allowed to be used in a fight ending sequence. So they only go to it if they only can make a decision from the replay if the fight ended because of whatever thing they're using the replay for. So I think they would have went back and looked at that and been like, that wasn't an illegal strike, you lost.
That would have been interesting. Now I kind of wish that did happen.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. That rule is such a gray. There's
a lot
thing.
Of this sport that's such a gray area, because I'm sure if the situation was reversed, there would eventually become a situation where we would see it the other way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But
it's hard to make concrete rules for this type of shit, because everything is like situation by situation, and it's almost hard for us to hope that the refs and the judges go by these hard lines, because if you take all logic out of it and all like human normal common sense, then it's not going to make sense, if that makes sense.
You lost me somewhere there, buddy.
I don't know. I think I'm hammered.
Yeah. All right, next.
I'm secretly just drunk. All right, we got Charles Olive IRA versus Jared Gordon.
Oliveira?
Oh, yeah. Olive IRA.
This was the most exciting fight of the night because it was the shortest.
Super exciting, super quick. What was it, like 48 seconds or something like that?
Minute 29.
Minute 29? Oh, it's way off. Okay.
Yeah. This one was good. Charles came out and he was landed fucking hard leg kicks. That was like, they were like textbook. They were right on the shin bone. They were fucking really beautiful leg kicks. And then he caught Gordon, I think with a hook or uppercut coming in and kind of like wobbled him, and then he turned perfectly and threw a perfect uppercut, and then that pretty much shut the lights out. And then the ones that against the cage were, I mean, he wasn't coming back from that. He was out.
Yeah, he was done. There's no better way to put it. That he just
There's nothing. I mean, he fought pretty much a perfect fight, because even when it went to the ground for that split second, he was all over everything. I'm pretty sure it went to the ground. Yeah, he went to the ground for a little bit.
He was about to, but he didn't get a strike in.
No, no. Before that, I think there was like a sequence of grappling a little bit.
Yeah,
exchange.
there was.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, he fought the perfect fight. Yeah,
100%. Did you see who he called out afterwards?
Who? Connor?
Yeah, Connor McGregor.
Yeah, that's a weird thing, man.
Why?
No,
why? I get why, but
the thing with call-outs, and I think Blachowicz did the same thing. Like, it doesn't make sense to call out a guy that already has an opponent.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
what are you gonna do? Stand in line?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, not only that, you don't know if that guy's gonna win his next fight.
Yeah.
So, why would you call out? You know what I mean? Like, everyone calls out Connor. We get it. Like, you want to fight for Connor for the money and shit. But everyone calls him out. The way to fight him is probably not to call him out and do what everyone else is doing.
No, you're not gonna get anywhere that way.
No, and like Blachowicz, I think he called out John Jones. And granted, John Jones doesn't have a set in stone opponent, and neither does Conor McGregor. But I can almost guarantee you, sure as shit, neither one of those dudes is fighting neither one of those dudes.
Yeah.
Next, it's just not happening.
You still need to go through the stepping stones a little bit. They were saying like he needs to face.
They're not putting Conor against anybody that's not a big name. Yeah. End of story.
Yeah.
End of story, because he's not the champion.
Yeah.
The champion kind of doesn't have a choice in who he fights, sorta. So if you're on a crazy win streak and you're undeniably talented, doesn't matter, kind of to a certain extent, you'll get the title shot. But Conor's not the champ. So they're going to be putting together the massive pay-per-views, and it ain't against Charles Oliveira. Sorry, bud, but it's not.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Try again. All right. Next we have the Shogun fight.
Yeah.
Versus Paul Craig.
I can't believe Shogun's still fighting. He's still fighting fucking killers too.
Yeah, that was.
It was weird.
It was a slow match.
Yeah, Shogun looked.
Except for
granted, he almost got finished several times in the first round.
yeah.
Still has a chin because Paul Craig unloaded on him against the cage.
It was weird because Paul Craig unloaded on him like crazy, and then spent the next 2 rounds almost willingly on his back.
Yeah, well, Paul Craig's a very good grappler.
I know, but
he kind of, and that's a problem with grapplers though, is that especially jiu-jitsu guys, they're so used to being on their back and letting somebody be in their guard that it's comfortable for them. Wrestlers don't like that. Wrestlers want to be on top, so they have more of an urgency to get up.
Yeah,
and jiu-jitsu guys sometimes they fall into that comfortability of being on their back, and they don't have that sense of urgency to get the fuck out of there, you know. And he wasn't gonna. I mean, not that I say he couldn't, but Mauricio's pretty good Brazilian jiu-jitsu player, so you know. Especially when you're sweaty, you're tired.
Yeah.
Probably not going to be catching him. Especially, you know, he wasn't taking super risks, but Shogun just looked like he was slow. He just looked like everything was slow.
Yeah. His punches were slow. His
body
was
looked
slow.
fucking older.
Well,
like
he's getting older.
Yeah, granted he's like 37 now, but when I see a guy whose body looks like that, it's not just. He was never like a muscular guy.
Yeah.
Like he looked like like he used to be thinner, but he was never like a superly overly muscular guy. But he always had knockout power. Always, you know, just hard to get him out of there, basically. But when you see guys have like that soft, puffy kind of body, the first thing I think of is his body is riddled with injuries, because that to me shows that he can't put in the time in the gym on either on the road work, meaning the cardio or whatever, to get his body conditioned the way he wants to, and it's suffering because he looked very puffy and not like, you know what I mean?
Not prime.
Yeah, more so than he has in like recent times.
Unfortunately, this was my first Shogun fight, so this is the only example I have to go off of him.
Yeah, normally that dude is in like some of the most exciting fights you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's weird that he was almost like he was like kind of stunted by whatever Paul Craig was doing. Now, granted, we don't know how hurt he was after that first round. We don't know how tired he was after that first round, because taking damage exhausts you.
Yeah, he was taking plenty of blows to the head.
Yeah.
Especially in that last, 30 seconds there.
But he came back and won
2 rounds.
2 rounds after that. Yeah. So, I mean, the dude can still do it. With guys like him sometimes, I just wish they would take, I just wish they could, just dump him in a vat of stem cells for, a year and just let him heal up.
He did take a year off. I think last time he fought was last December.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying too. He might have a gang of injuries. I think his last fight was a win too. So I don't know. I don't know how much longer he's going to do it. He's ranked number 14. I don't know if he's still ranked number 14 after last night, because he just drew to a non-ranked guy. But yeah, I don't know. Shogun's always fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
But that one was probably one of the worst performances I've seen that he had. Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, last one of the night.
We have Jan.
Yeah.
Versus Ronaldo Souza.
Yeah, Blachowicz versus De Souza, or Ronaldo Souza.
So this fight, from a technical standpoint, was extremely well done on both sides. From an entertainment standpoint, I could barely keep my eyes open. I was falling asleep.
Yeah, it's
good God.
I wasn't as bad, but I can see from someone who doesn't know as much, because when his foot broke, I saw that in the second round.
Yeah, you did call that really early on.
Yeah, and you didn't notice it till what, the fourth?
You even pointed it out. I'm like, no, it looks fucking fine. But they did a close up on it in between rounds. I think it was in between the third and fourth round.
Yeah,
that they were going to ice it, and he said,
My foot's hurt.
Yeah, my foot's hurt.
Yeah, and then they zoomed in on it, and you could see it was visibly swollen.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things, when I watch the fights, you watch him enough, you kind of see things look off to you, and his foot just looked off, like the coloring on it, and it was humped in a certain way. I mean, he had some pretty gnarly looking feet, but a lot of those MMA guys do. So I saw his foot being broken, but that to me makes it kind of exciting because it's almost like you're in on a secret, and you see that guy throwing kicks and slamming kicks into Souza's fucking elbows, and you're like, he's doing that with a broken foot.
Yeah.
And then Souza's doing foot stomps on his broken foot. And Souza might have broke his foot with a foot stomp.
That's possible. I think the foot stomps came...
He was doing them from the second round on, I believe. Or the first round on? Second round on. But they were throwing so many low calf kicks. I mean, if you catch a shin on the instep, I mean, there's a good chance it's going to break. But as far as the rest of the fight, I mean, there were some moments of, oh shit, some guys landed, a couple good shots, but a lot of it took place against the fence in the grappling.
Took place against the fence, yeah.
Yeah, in the clinch. And I think
Souza spent the first 2 rounds trying to get the takedown, and he realized he couldn't.
Yeah, they canceled each other out.
Yeah, they canceled each other out. So he spent a good portion of the first 2 full rounds up against the fence.
Yeah, and then good portions of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th doing the same thing.
They kept going back. It was, I mean, again, from a technical point of view, the guys were doing the right thing. They were both going for the win. They were playing it smart, but from a fan point of view, it was hard to...
Yeah, that fight to me, I mean, I couldn't... If I wanted one guy to win over the other, which I didn't, I could have... I don't see how anyone could be mad about the decision.
No, you can't be mad at them. They put on a good performance for themselves, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, I don't know who the fuck won that fight. I wouldn't bet $5 on that.
But that was the other thing. By the end of it, I had no idea who won.
No clue.
You could have called that. You could have called that one a draw, and I wouldn't have been shocked.
Yeah, I thought. Did you think Mauricio did enough in the Paul Craig fight? I thought that after the first round, unless the first round was scored a 10-8. Which it might have well been
for one of the judges.
Yeah.
All it takes is one judge to score 10-8, and all of a sudden there could be a draw.
Yeah. Well, because it's a split draw.
Yeah.
That was a split draw because one judge had it for each of the guys, and then one judge had it a draw.
Yeah. So the only way I do think Shogun had the last 2 rounds. So the only way that could have been a draw if the first round was a 10-8, which I know he did get rocked a lot, but we've gone over the rules before, and that was not a 10-8 round.
It might have been, though, because I don't think Shogun did. Under the new rules, Shogun didn't give any offense in that round. And Craig's offense severely outshined Mauricio's.
Yeah.
I think. And if someone scored that round a 10-8 based off the new rules, I couldn't complain about that. Because if Shogun did that to Paul Craig, it might have looked better or whatever, but it probably would have been, you know what I mean? Like I could see how it's a 10-8 round, but at the same time, if you look at the fight as a whole, you probably have to give that to Paul Craig because he was the one that came the closest to finishing it. But
I would agree with that, but that's not how
they're scored.
That's not how it's scored.
That's not how the contest and So, but also, Bisping thought that Paul Craig got knocked out at one point in the second round.
Really?
Yeah, he said that he thought he saw his head drop when Mauricio jumped into his guard. So we have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, I want to look at that again.
But yeah, man, I don't know. It was a decent card. It just the fights weren't, there wasn't any barn burners on the main card, so it was,
kind of a slow start.
Yeah.
Or no, reverse that. A good start, but it kind of winded down a little bit.
They were just a lot of grueling type of fights, which they're good, but they're not like you're not jumping out of your seat for them. You're kind of just locked in, paying attention.
Yeah, kind of going through the motions on this one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think that about sums it up for the fight recap.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be coming out on Tuesday with a What Do You Got?
What do you got, Tim?
So make sure to stay tuned, and we will see you next time.
Bye. You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.